I see myself I was calling it Capital City. I was in this town square, and I was kind of standing in place, and that happens during regressions. It's on a practitioner to move you along, for you to see more. And that's what they did. They kind of, posed questions and motivated me to begin to walk through the town. And I was seeing old women with, those old hay brooms pushing around sand, and kids running around, and men leading donkeys with carriages. And I started to walk towards this really large building. It was a town of all these, clay brick buildings. So I go into this building, and, if you know in ancient history, there were buildings where the elite met, for wine, for food, for business. Men and women would spend time together, and this is one of those places. So I walk up to a table, and there's someone that I'm speaking with, and, I let the practitioner know that, this is my business partner. But there's a group of men at the other side of the room, and I really don't care for them. There's an older male, and he is this man who, you have to go through him to do business. In Northeastern Pennsylvania, we all know there's a couple men like that around here, and that's who he was. And I wasn't happy with that. So because I would make less money. So I would do business around him. And so would my partner. So, I had that going on. And, I move on from this room, and I go upstairs, and, there's a woman that I'm going to spend time with. And, with this woman, I could feel this emotional connection, that I want to try and rescue her from this life. And this older male that I didn't agree with must have, become knowledgeable about this. Someone told him. And, I found out in a later meditation that, I was killed in this life because, I went my own way. And that kind of, for me, that there's a correlation to this life, because that's how I, conduct myself. There's certain things that we can't change, and you have to do it this way. But for me, I'd like to try it my way and see if it works. Maybe, I feel there's a better way to do it, or a quicker way, or a different way. So that explained that for me. And it also explained why I have a certain connection to that time period. I'm amateur history buff, so it made a lot of sense to me. So with these past life regressions, we get to learn, why we gravitate towards a certain person, or a certain place, or a certain occupation. Why we may have certain interests or hobbies, like music and history. Why they're just so familiar to us.
Look up and around, and study the view. And what do you see? What type of environment are you in?
Like marketplace.
Marketplace. And tell me, from the way everything looks, can you tell what year it is? And you can trust if a number pops in your head, or any thought that's your spirit trying to tell you. You can trust whatever answers you get.
963 comes to me.
963. Do you have any idea where you might be?
Capital City.
Capital City, and do you know the capital of?
It seems Mediterranean.
How about the architecture? What kind of architecture is there?
Stonework, but you can see taller buildings.
In the back you can see better and nicer buildings. Yeah, kind of standing above everything else.
Okay, and do you know what it is that you're doing in this place?
I think I'm looking for someone.
Looking for someone, and do you know who it is that you're looking for?
An acquaintance, a friend.
And do you know why you're looking for them?
Just to meet.
Do you know what you plan to do together?
We can discuss work and just random things.
And what kind of work is it that you do?
I want to say mercantile, but I think there's more. Like it's part of what we do.
And do you meet up with him?
And I'm not there yet. I'm going to a place where we gather. It's like a social place. It's sort of up the hill through the alleyways. Wearing like a, I guess you could say like a robe. Yeah, and it's hot. And I can see the peaks of the buildings. It's religious. It's pointed tower with a round bottom. It's gold. But everything else is just clay. Streets and the buildings with them. And there's donkeys with wagons or carrying things, and children running around. It's busy. I have to go to that building.
And what's at the building?
It's a place where people like us meet. To talk business or politics or like a sanctuary.
And do you know what your status is?
It's higher.
you know if you have some kind of title or anything like that?
I only think of like alderman. We all do a little bit of, we're all connected in some way. Business and whatnot.
Hmm.
I'm just not moving from this square. And I still see all that. The place where need is. It's better architecture and painting. And it's open to the high ceiling and columns and water, like a fountain. People eat and drink there. But it's for men. Mainly. Just, nobody else belongs there. Most of the men have short curly hair and beards and like robes and sandals and things on. And just sit around tables and
do you know the specifics of their dealings in this particular event?
on about things coming in to the port. And trading and bartering, and there's it's not my partner or my friend, but there's another man there that's, gray, whitish hair, and he seems to be the more authoritative, I guess, louder. Like, the men listen to him. He's not in charge of things, but he might as well be. So,
And how do you feel about this man?
I only deal with him as much as I have to. It's one of those people, you have to go through him or get permission in some way, or He has to know everything. I go. I walk into the room and he's there at a table with other men, younger men than him. And I go to a different table. My partner's there, and we're talking about the man at the other table, joking. We try to do things simpler. Don't want too much interference. Because too many people's profits. There's less profits when there's more people involved. We're towards the corner. It's cooler in this room than it was on the streets. But it's like a it's, I guess like Jesus, like a, you know what I mean, like a white robe and then something else on top of it. And some people have jewels, necklaces, rings, and things. But we have drinks and begin to talk about our business.
Does anything so far have any significance to you?
I think having a small circle it's just simpler without as many people involved. Although sometimes it could be helpful, but sometimes it's not worth it. It just makes it complicated.